Well, hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's your boy Joseph Sunderman, the Creative Tech. Not the Creative Tech, just a Creative Tech like the rest of you. If you're joining the tribe, we welcome you, and we are excited for you to become part of the modern workforce, the movement that we are shaping and defining ourselves, become the authority in the modern workforce, what that truly means for us and the way we want to approach work and the way that we want to, the state we want to work in with those we work with. And we want to feel validated by those we work with and what we do every day. We want to feel accomplished. That's what a creative tech is. A creative tech understands that those are the things that drive us, having our purpose, having our, tool belts ready to go and loving the modern tool belts that we're creating with today's technology, especially with this AI stuff. I mean, we've been using AI for decades, but wow, over the last year and a half or so. So let's get rid of this music. Let's whoop, whoop, whoop. That's distracting. Oh, go away. We'll keep you way down there. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Hopefully everybody can hear me okay. Again, I'm a solopreneur at this point. This is my channel, my current, take on what the tribe is, trying to become the authority in modern workforce development. How do we as individuals approach our workplace, regardless of our position, and truly lead by example and to show the others around us that we are here to help, contribute where we are, and make improvements where we can. Now, a lot of us live day to day and just going through the motions and getting by. Is that the current state you live in? Is that your current brand? You know that better than I do. Wind the tape back as myself as a child. I knew that there was others out there. At what age do you become aware that you're part of the have-nots versus the haves? And what do you consider haves versus haves and have-nots? For me, growing up, seeing families being together with the dad and the siblings and everybody having fun and the mom and dad going to work, like starting to become aware of that kind of stuff early on is when I was like, I don't have that. And there's nothing you can do about that. There's things you can't control, things you can't control. It wasn't until my mid-30s until I realized there's things that I can't control and how I approach those. Like, nobody taught me early on the ways of life. So I had to start doing that myself. I had to transform myself. Hell, not only, 5 years ago, I was at 320 pounds. Whole different Joseph Sunderman at that point. I smoked Newports. A pack would last me 2 to 3 days, depending on how busy I was and how much stress I had. But I smoked cigarettes, Newports. I partied. I ate like a pig. I ate just to eat. I didn't eat because I was hungry and needed fuel. In fact, the shit I was putting in my body was not very healthy. Anyway, today's show is about adoption. That's the focus of today's show. And why am I talking about all this other stuff right now? Well, that's why I'm bringing those things up, because I truly believe that what I'm trying to do right now, there's a place for it. There's a need for it. At least when I was growing up and as I was going through work, I knew that they gave you those stupid tapes to watch when they hired you in at like a retail place or a fast food restaurant. It could be Wendy's, it could be Kmart, whatever it was. All these different jobs I've worked, and I've worked at multiple fast food joints. I've worked at multiple retail stores, doing multiple different types of jobs in all these environments. Which, growing up and somebody that dropped out of high school and going through jobs, really the jobs were there to support me. They were stepping stones to support me in my music career. Let's not get into that right now. But it wasn't like I was going to go work at these places and, okay, now I got to establish my life and work on no, it was focus on the band. This is giving me money so I can live until I make it with the band. And because I was jumping around all these different jobs, and because I am in tune with what I'm doing, and if I'm going to do something, I want to give it, I want to do it right. I remember working at this place called Diamond Plastics. If anybody is from Hardin County and you've worked at Diamond Plastics before, you want to talk about ISO standards and protocols and workers' comp and all these things, which everybody there was so scared to report anything. Management was just get the damn work done. The place was, if it's still standing, I'm sure it's going through some difficult times. But anyway, this place, they made plastic moldings, and in the winter time, it wasn't as bad, but during the summertime, that job sucked. These ovens running anywhere from 400 to 600 degrees, these big cast iron or whatever the casting, aluminum casting, whatever it was that we would dump the powder or liquid plastic into. Basically, you're putting it in a pan, sealing the pan, throwing it in an oven that sits there and turns, and that's what plastic hardens inside the mold. You take it out, you take the mold apart, out comes your little part, you trim off the fat, you throw it into the bin, and that's your portion of the job. It goes on to some other place for it to get refined and painted or whatever needs to happen. But the job was nasty. Everybody there was either a felon or had a drug problem or was a dropout. Like, if you worked at Diamond Plastics, at least this is my experience, you did so. And I remember there was one time, I'm not a saint. I remember there was one night I took 8 hits of acid and went to work at this place. That's just so you understand my state at the time. That's where I was. People were like, "You're crazy. How are you working and being on, like, what's wrong with you?" What was wrong with me is I was enjoying life, taking it day by day, did not like the situation, did not like being in poverty, did not like having to work a job, and the drugs made it almost as if you're like watching a movie through this lens and doing your thing. I'm not condoning what I did. I'm not saying that I would, recommend you doing anything like I've done, but take it from me, somebody that's trying to take what I've learned and the way that I have shifted my life, the weight loss. I have adopted all of these beliefs. I have transformed myself into what I am today. And just like a business that is overweight, doing what it needs to in order to enjoy the day-to-day to get, because today when I work, I love what I do. The people I work with, as challenging as they may be, that's what I'm working with. That's the substrate. That's the materials I'm handling when I'm doing my job now. And just like a doctor that's physically cutting you open and working on you, want that person to be, you want them to go into this with the seriousness and the professionalism and as if it was their own loved one or themselves under the knife. And yet we sign paperwork and just let the doctor that's assigned to us. Not all of us. Some of us are very particular. And we should be critical and crucial of these things. Just because they have their credentials on the wall, do we truly know that doctor? Like, where did they go to school? Like, these are the things that go through my head anyway. When I go to I don't like going to fast food. I'll tell you that right now. The quality of what I put in my body today, I don't like fast food. Chipotle is amazing. This Panda Express place for $10, a bowl like that is going to fill me up and I could eat twice off of that $10. Like, there's certain ways, certain things you can do things. And once you adopt and take these things on, that's what today's show is about, by the way. Today's focus is on adoption. And our formula here for the discussion We have 3 topics towards adoption. Topic number 1 is, why is adoption important to the creative tech right now? Why is it something we are focused on, and why is it worth our time this week to even break it down for this episode? Because again, I only get so much time to do the show, and I need everything to align and come to a point, right? So at the moment, with some gatekeepers, that's what I call the people that are in charge of whatever big endeavor I'm working with. So I've had to break things down in order to work with people and to stay focused and not to overstep my boundaries, or to, I want to set clear expectations. We want to look at the entity that owns the tech stack, what portions of the tech stack are being provided, and where's the value at, and where's the responsibility at. This helps us align with how we operate and how we move forward with things. And you would think, Joe, don't you have all that figured out beforehand? And we do. But there is so much in the equation that so much gray area starts to build up. If your lines are not clearly defined, what once was a clear line can get muddied and overtaken by all that gray. So we have to realign and reassess. I mean, how do we go from being somebody that was working job to job, high school dropouts, to owning 3 companies, driving objectives and aligning objectives that affect the culture of an organization? Getting up, like, I don't clock in and clock out every day. Something inside of me, if my alarm clock doesn't go off at 6 a.m. or 5:30 or whatever it's set to right now, if it doesn't go off, I'm waking up anyway, because my body's just so in tune with it. Like, my routine is so, I don't want to say rigid, because I do like flexibility. I need to be able to, but yeah, every day I'm waking up at the same time. I'm going to bed at the same time. I've realized that I take my laptop up to bed every night when I go to bed, because I'm like, I'm going to get some work done before I go to bed. I haven't opened my laptop before bed. It goes up with me every night. I'm reassessing myself. Like, why did I adopt this practice of taking my laptop upstairs every night? I never open it. I have an old iPad. Why not just leave it upstairs? I'm just in the habit of having my laptop next to my side everywhere I go. That could be damaging to some degree. Think if the wife is like, hey, what you wanting to do? I go, I got my laptop right here. No, I'm not on it, but it is by my side everywhere I go. And I've been aware of that lately. I've been like, man, I am really overdoing it. So for me, I'm trying to transform. I noticed here recently, I've been so into this that's all I've been doing and thinking about. I'm driving people around me a little bit crazy. So this show is a great outlet for this. It's a way for me to get it all out. I'm not finding myself having to talk to everybody about every little thing, because this is an outlet to do that. These are things that I'm adopting right now. And to let you guys know why this is so important right now is because I started talking about this earlier. I got gatekeepers, and we always get to these points where things start to get, friction starts to get heated. You got to pull away from your gatekeepers from time to time. Like, they're overwhelmed. There's too much. They're trying to do everything that they're trying to do. This is making things muddy. Let off the gas a little bit. Maybe even step on the brake a little bit to, just easing off the gas might not be enough. And when you have 700 users that rely on your core tech stack that you have built and supported over the years, which it sounds like a lot of people, but 700 people is not a lot of people. It's only 40 companies that make up those 700 people. So if we break it down by 40 companies, and only 5 of those companies I truly manage, like, everything. The 35 plus companies that are over here that are not under my direct management, they're using the systems that I've built. I have transformed the company that I partnered with, which is one of the companies I manage. I've transformed them into being a machine that has adopted my practices, objectives versus matters, provided versus managed, tech stack, data stack, security stack, Yickety yak stack, black. There's so much terminology in what I'm building. It's ridiculous. I literally have a glossary of, I think there was like 180 terms last time I looked. I don't know. There's a lot. Anchors, your North Star, what does that mean? Objectives versus matters, what we can control versus what we can't control. How do you approach both things? When something comes up out of your control, how do you deal with those things? Well, first of all, if it's out of our control, who's responsible for whatever system this is affecting? Am I responsible for that system, or do I already have somebody delegated that system? Do I even want to be bothered by that matter? So now I know that, hey, there's a way for me to deal with matters and direct matters to go where they need to be worked on. Objectives are things we can control, and I can assign tasks and objectives to people. Like, the whole system I've built is all... Here's what I've had a hard time doing in my transformation of becoming the modern workforce development authority. Everybody's doing everything I'm talking about. They just have their perception of it. And this is the thing, is I'm an outside vendor. True. As an outside vendor, what I can do is use an example between somebody that's internal to you. If the two of you both have the same thing that you talk about, but you both look at it differently. For me, being a third party, absolutely, my labels are going to be different than what you do. But in your own environment, if you have somebody that says, this is how we do marketing, and then another executive in your company is like, well, no, marketing is XYZ. I don't know if you could already see the breakdown in communication happening here. It's so clear to me what's going on. And what we need to do is align on some kind of... All the businesses I work with, do they even have a handbook for their employees? Which they do. A lot of them, most of them, yes. But they're all antiquated. They're not kept up. They usually hired some third-party firm to come in and write it for them. And then... it's no good after the fact. Like, once it's outdated and you didn't keep up with it, you've added policies, but you didn't send out the updated sheet to everybody, have them sign and put in their workbook, especially if it's an old, like, actual book. Everything's digital nowadays. The world's shifting to the digital. If you're a workforce, if you're a company and you're like, oh, I do need to get my handbook updated. Oh my God. See, this is one of the many things that we work on right away. We have to get your org chart down. This is not an overnight thing, but there is a formula to it, and we can... The current state where you are before you meet Ikora, yeah. Adoption's hard. Transformation is what it happens. And where am I going with all this, Joe? Why are you talking? You're just rambling. Well, I had to transform myself in order for me to lead. And that's where we're going. So transformation is the first topic. Leadership is the second topic. Why is this important to the creative tech? Well, transformation. If you really want transformation to your desired state, you have to understand what adoption is and be able to explain it to somebody and articulate how your adoption works. What transformation are you making with your clients? Exactly what transformation do you look to make? And for us, it's how you approach work. How do you break down the things you can control versus the things you can't control? And how do you deal with those things? Now, keep in mind, we have security standards. We have information in our data stack, our security stack. These things have to stay solid and clean. First of all, is that clear across the board for everybody? A lot of times it's not in a small business. Again, you go ask the owner, they're going to feel confidence in one answer. You go ask an end user, the newest hire they have, ask them where things are. And whatever the delta is between the two is what you need to fill. You need to fill that gap. What do you use to fill that gap? What can that new user go look at? Or do they have to talk to somebody? That's a problem. Hopefully they're going to a centralized location where all the information is stored and clean and up to date. Policies, procedures, all that stuff. And having a site that's internal to your team that does that for you. That's what Ikora does. Now, obviously, a lot of people see me as the IT guy. Why am I talking about policies and workflows and adoption? Well, our clients rely on us to provide them a solid tech stack. When they need an app to do something else, they come to us and say, hey, what app should we use for that? And if we don't have something that does it in our wheelhouse, they're going to go look for the third party. A lot of times, what I was doing when I came on board, that's what the company was doing before. They would refer them and say, hey, you need to go find a software that does that. Well, wait a minute. Let's be the one to find it, because we already know their tech stack. We're the best ones to find, like, what is it they need to do if you're an IT manager. Now, if you're just a MSP or a break fix shop, obviously you're not going to consult and do that kind of stuff, right? So bottom line is, in order for us to understand adoption and use it well, why it's important to the creative tech is because it's about transformation. How do we do that here at Ikora Creative Tech, Rigid 6? We lead by example. So leadership is the second topic. And then the third topic is commitment. What do you take away from today's episode? What do you need to do in order to be successful when it comes to adoption? And we'll get into commitment here in a little bit. Hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory. You can read the descriptor that we put together. In fact, that's part of this show we're putting together, and we're about to put a timeout on the show so we can talk about this. I haven't been very good about doing this in the past few episodes. But the premise of this whole show here is I need to get good at branding and marketing and articulating what it is we do. For Ikora, that is. And all of this is branded under the creative tech. We're not branding this as Ikora. Although, when I do the little whoop, we got Ikora's logo right here. And you see that flashing up here in the corner there. That is my bad boy logo for Ikora. So, I guess I am kind of putting little sprinkles of Ikora on here, but this isn't a lab by Ikora. The creative tech is an Ikora entity per se, and it's just a lab at the moment. But as I build out this lab, it's actually like, oh, this is kind of cool. This could actually be a little company. We could actually have people signing up in XYZ. So I'm building it out to be as such, but again, I'm not. It's literally a business that somebody could buy and take off and run with if they wanted to. Now with the structure, how valuable would that be? I'd say probably a few grand. Like, I wouldn't charge that much for the idea and the concept, as long as they were keeping true to what it was. Hell, I might just give it to them and say, hey, like, let me be a part of it too. And if you really create this thing, because right now I'm not I don't think I'm the best personality for this. There's somebody better to be doing this right here. I believe that. And maybe that's part of the problem, is if I believed I was the right one for it, maybe I would put more effort into doing it better. I believe I will be talking, but will I be doing a show like this format, grinding every week? No, this is to show people, to lead by example. If you stick to something, you can build something out. And I do. I try to keep it to the 1 hour show, which is what we're doing right here. That's why we're talking about it in the episode. We take a little bit of time to talk about it in the episode because we're trying to get it all contained within this time. And through the week, my idea is, if I create a session through the week and I think about the topics and kind of make sure it flows together. A lot of times, if you catch me on my stream on my Facebook, my personal Facebook and my Twitch account for Creative Tech, I don't post that on LinkedIn or anything else, where I'll stream from anywhere from 2 to 8 hours, depending on what time I get up and whatnot before the show. And I'm all I'm doing is I'm getting the descriptor done for the show. I'm updating the worksheet, and yeah, we can go ahead and get into some of that. Let's go ahead and take some time to catch up on the old lab rats here. The tribe is a lab rat, but I think it's a lab that has a lot of potential for world influence. We're going to share a screen here. We're going to share the entire screen. We'll share screen 2. Okay. Let's make sure we don't have anything stupid on said screen. Pew, 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 pew. Why is that on Wegman? That needs to be over here on Icora. Thank you much. We get it. There's a problem. We'll fix that later. Do, 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 do. Gotta love doing it live. Doing it live. Oh no, we want this one. Oh yeah, that's fine. We really want this one. Yeah, that's that way you get more screen. There you go. There you go. We gotta figure out these layouts. All right. 28th episode of Sessions. Crazy stuff. And I'm a day late. Let's address that real quick. Yeah. 28 weeks I've been doing this. Well, it's actually been 30, but 2 weeks I dropped the show because I was out of state. Family stuff. Okay. We got to live, right? But I wanted to be on point every week and track my efforts in a way that I can show people the delta from when I started to where I am today. So if we go ahead and pull up, let's see. All right, so here's the shows, okay? I put my work out there so y'all can judge the shit out of me. I expect that, by the way. All right. If we take a look here at this list, which yeah, the folder can be on the end. Boop. There we go. You can see I didn't upload the thumbnail here, and I didn't put the folder on this week. A little rough around the edges here, a few areas. Didn't update the numbers here quite a few times, but this is just a few simple tabs I'm tracking here for the Creative Tech, and just from these few columns, and by putting every episode in here. I used to have some sample episodes down here at the bottom, but I got rid of those. Right here, we have episode 1. Oop, get back here. And we go all the way up, and now we're all the way up here to episode 28, which is today. What I need to do is have episode 29, 30, 31, and 32 in here already. So I'm already working on those through the weeks and making those shows better. Like, I finalized this show a half hour before the show. Right? Give it some time. And at some point when I have that advancement in shows, you'll be able to see that shift from the data I'm capturing here. I'll add right now you can say all the show creation dates are on the day of for the most part. That would be true. But when I add the column, focus creation date, when did we land on that focus idea for that show for that date? Whatever the date that comes up, we'll start putting that in there. That's going to tell us the date of the show versus the time we had the focus created. And that pattern alone, that's the only column I would need to add to show when we start creating that, when we adopt that new method. So I've been telling my clients, just start tracking little things in your organization. It can make a huge difference. We ain't got time to blah, 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 blah. And the way I'm tracking this, literally as I'm doing things and on the fly and sometimes missing stuff, it should show you the value in having it regardless if you're perfect or not. There's a lot of value in just taking the time to track your work, creating the list, and giving yourself the discipline to go back to it on occasion. That nobody's going to do that for you. Only you can do those level of things. And I don't care if it's on a piece of paper, spreadsheet. I'm using lists just because I can automate things from this list. I can make it work with other lists, and that's a whole other topic. That's one of the ways that we use 365. You see those commercials where some business owners walking all happy with a Surface from Microsoft, and they're like, I just got Microsoft 365 and my business is amazing with my own apps, blah, 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 blah. Like, I wish they understood how small business owners and managers and officers thought. That's not going to do it. Anyway, it's so easy to get your data and build your own dashboards of information and ways for your team to approach work. Why people don't do this more often is beyond me. And I'm here to help. I want to facilitate. I want to help bring the information in front of you, so that way when you make decisions, it's quick. Your feedback loops truly give you it all makes so much sense to me. I see how it all connects. I can see how your attitude talking to an employee and what you just said to them gives the beliefs that they have, and the reason why your culture and the things that you're wanting to improve are not working is because you are a leader in the way you speak, the way you act, the way you lead. And try getting in a yelling argument match with a business owner that's paying you $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month to yell at them and tell them how to do their business. Joe, you better watch your approach. Adoption. Why is it so important? Because of transformation. Well, who's trying to transform? I'm trying to transform, motherfucker. I am. I'm trying to go from this. I love it because I have these conversations with clients. I had a gatekeeper that I told, like, I wasn't formally trained. I'm a high school dropout and he stops me. Like, you need to quit saying that shit. You may not have finished high school and stuff, but you're here. You've done it. And I get that, but I'm not where I need to be. I'm not where I want to be. So in my head, I'm still, and that's part of the whole, Joe, you've made it. Why are you like, chill the fuck out? Like, no, we haven't made it until I feel my kids will not have anything to worry about if they fall off their horse, or if they, whatever it is that they go out and set in life. I want a safety net. Right now, my safety net for my wife and I is pretty okay. It's looking good. It's not horrible. But is it good enough for us and our children and their children? No. Do I need that? No. I want it, I guess, a little bit. I want to travel comfortably. I want to be able to do so many things. I want healthy, positive relationships with my children, and to even get to have that level of support and help. It's not even an option for me at this point. I have a lot I need to transform, and there's only so much I can truly control. For me, the best thing to control is my attitude, because Yeah. And to change one's attitude, to change one's perspective, how do I have that transformation? Anyway, back to the show for a second. Let's finish the recap of the show before I get back into the focus topics. From day one of this show, which was March 9th, I had the help of a few of my friends. I have to get a hold of Will. I haven't talked to him forever. Cole, I mean, dude's crushing it with his, he's a leader, and I can't wait to talk to him again because I'm excited to hear his current path and where he is as a creative tech. He was here on day one, so we haven't talked much lately, but he's on his grind, and we've been texting each other back and forth like, yeah, we need to get together, but life sucks. So Cole and Will were here the first 2-3 or so, or they were here for the first few months. They were present-ish, but I did not expect them to stay. I'm a day late right now, and I'm like, damn, like I'm stressing it. But back on the first day, I was really stressing it. Now, because I have all this time with it being consistent, like doing it a day late, it bothers me. It does. But when I look at this and I look at the audience I have with what appears to be one person, I don't know if that's real or not. Hell, it could be me with a tab open for all I know. And this isn't about people watching right now. This is about my progress from day one all the way up until present. And right now, we're 28 episodes in, and I can already see a delta here. I see where we started, didn't have any improvements here. I see an improvement around episode 5. We threw an improvement. Episode 11, we threw in a hell of an improvement. And there's been, I think it was right around 20 is when I came up with the why, how, and what. That's the topics. So when we have our focus, it's the why is this important to us? How are we using this thing at the Creative Tech right now to get what we need? And what do you as a viewer, that's the third topic, need to take away from today's episode in order for you to align with the focus? This is so important because really what all of us want to do is transform our current state into our desired state. Some of us, the gap and the items that we're looking at for the desired state will be different than everybody has their unique DNA blend. We have to consider a few factors. Your current, surroundings, let's say that way. Your current opportunities, like what are your capabilities, and then what are your holdbacks? Do you have anything like bad credit? Do you have, a criminal history of any kind? What are your limitations? What are your capabilities? What are the opportunities looking like for you? What area do you live in? Can you move? Do you have any funds? Are you, behind in money? Like, be real as, keep it heavy and keep it real. If you come into this playing or putting on some kind of mask, and that's another thing is what I do, we have to strip away those masks. With a business owner that has to put on all these masks, and what I'm trying to say is with modern leadership, no, you don't need those masks. In fact, you will be so much more, unless your masks are covering up something pretty damn ugly. We all are ugly underneath to some degree. We all have our imperfections. But those are the things that make us us. And that's why we're so unique and beautiful, each one of us. So even for a business owner, their responsibility, the stress they have. A lot of people are envious of people with lots, but you don't know what it fucking takes. You can be shitty about it and cut corners and get money fast, which some people have done that. But somebody that has earned their state they're in. Someone that has earned a state that they're happy to live in. There's something admirable about that. And I think if we think about it correctly, do I feel like we all have an opportunity to get to a better place? Yes. Do I think in your current state where you are, maybe you were, in your 40s and you're living at home with your, grandma or something who, you're trying, yes, you're there and you're helping them out, but at the same time, that you're not doing anything to get, what's after that chapter, take care of her, your loved ones while they're here. Take good care of them and be present in their life as much as you possibly can, but do not let that dictate your life and your future. And if you're in a position now where you have to, the second you make the decision that I'm going to start thinking about what's going on after this, or I need to start preparing and thinking about me, like that is a step. Here comes that part of me that talks in a way that people are like, oh, that guy's just a narcissist. But no, you have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your needs and your wants to some degree. I tell my son all the time, your brain is a sponge. And when you're talking, your brain can't soak anything up because you're squeezing the sponge to talk. You gotta be able to listen to others and take things in and be observant and even hear what you're doing and how you're acting, how others are perceiving you, and the way what you say and the way you act does have an effect on others. And you have to take good care of yourself first. Just like in an airplane when they're giving the announcements, you have to, before you help your kids, put your mask on immediately. Why? My kid could pass out. Well, here's the problem. If you pass out, how are you going to help your kid? You take care of yourself. You put yourself and you make sure you're aware of your capabilities, and you never put yourself in a position, at least try your best not to. I mean, parenting's hard. We all are doing our best. And yes, sometimes we don't think ahead, and then we bite ourselves in the ass when we see, oh, I could have prevented this thing from happening, especially when your kids, hopefully nothing serious, but you just, if you don't take care of yourself, how do you take care of others? Your job, your purpose is to take care of your loved ones and to keep your circle healthy, your tribe healthy. So transformation was huge for me. My two children, as much or little as I'm in their lives, I know I've had a huge impact on their lives. I've provided for both of them financially, and I've given them both my perception on morals and values and what being authentic and trusting and allowing yourself to be loved and to love those around you, and to not allow anybody to be a strong, independent man or woman. Whatever, Jonah, I know you're going to be a very strong, independent man that's going to take good care of his loved ones because he has learned to take good care of himself. Olivia, no different for her. She is a strong, intelligent woman, and I see the drive in her that I know that she will be okay. My hope is that she soars and that she thrives and that she is more than okay. She is amazing. Both of my kids are super amazing, and I love them both, and I'm so happy that they were born and healthy. And for me to truly be a good father, I want to lead by example. I have transformed myself. I am leading by example by now showing my work. I have to get my websites up yet. The framing on this stuff and how to say it, like especially with Ikora. Ikora is the big one, right? That's what we got to market. That's why I started this to begin with. The creative tech, you guys see how there's 3 steps. Fill out the form, do this. We have the show. It's part of it's part of Ikora's master tech plan, but it's focused on the individual. In fact, we're taking the things we're learning from doing creative tech. And some of the individual sessions we've been having, we've been asking not just so much on the brands, objectives and making sure they're aligned with it, but we've talked to the gatekeepers about this. This is something that we're doing to help individuals manage their time better, make your time versus manage your time, which is something that I picked up from Alex Hormozy. I don't know where he got it from, whether he came up with it or he got it from somebody else. Again, a lot of the things I came up, I would say objectives versus matters, I kind of came up with on my own. Matters is because of my working with a law firm and learning what I learned there. And objectives it just came natural. Anyway. All over the place, Joseph. I want you to see that by leading by example, where I'm transforming and what hopefully you're seeing the delta and me from Hardin County to me in, Harrison, Ohio. I don't live in Cincinnati currently. I used to live in Clifton, but then I met this gorgeous brunette and she basically whipped me, and now I'm living out here in the burbs and I got a cul-de-sac for the kids. Like, it's not where I'm living, how I'm living is nothing I ever imagined in my wildest dreams. That's all due to my transformation. And I've been nothing but attacked because of it. Not just from baby mama drama, but the better you do, those around you start to show their true colors. And those that I love that have been here since, even back when I was really fucked up, and just because I've made a transformation, I am meeting new people. I'm running into new circles. I'm not abandoning my old circle. Like all my friends from Hardin County, God, I got to reach out to people. You know how many people I haven't talked to that I'm dying to talk to? I saw Jimmy Clark posting something, Tia Fisher. Like, I miss everybody. Has anybody heard from Danae? I haven't talked to Casey in fucking decades. Like, I don't know what everybody's doing. Derek Bordner, last time I talked to him, he didn't change from high school and was still a douche. Like, I don't know. What's everybody doing? And I need to take time out to do these things. All right, let's get rid of this show. Let's go back to, or let's get rid of the screen. We have 10 minutes. Let's call it 10 minutes. So today's focus, adoption. Topic 1, why is this important to creative tech? Well, transformation. I wanted to be able to make films writing a one-wheel for my production company, Rigid Six, for some of the real estate stuff and other things that we're doing. And I couldn't do that because of my weight. I knew to lose weight and to be able to maintain that. It wasn't something that I would be able to. These are what we call foundational things. In order for me to stay healthy, I can't just exercise and diet to lose the weight. And once the weight's lost, go back to my old ways, I'll end up where I was. So I have to adopt a new mindset, a new framework. I had to break up with food, per se. Still love food. I will pig out and eat some of the junkiest junk food you'll ever see. I'll raid the kids' shelf in the pantry and walk out there with 5 fruit roll-ups and a couple of chunky sugar cookies, whatever, chocolate chip, the red package, the big Chips Ahoy, extra chunky, all the Chips Ahoy, that something like that. Like I eat this plastic fake shit, and for the most part, still feel very healthy. Energy's up. A lot of that, being on the right medications, getting myself and adopting some things, getting A1 greens and intermittent fasting every day. Like these changes that I adopted have helped me transform, have a healthier lifestyle, which has led me to be able to have my beautiful one wheel, and I can make amazing footage for Rigid 6, and it's made such an improvement. And because I have these capabilities and I have these tools, it gives me more opportunities. Wait until I have my websites up and I put my real pricing up. Oh, all I'm doing right now is all the work to set up everything. I could get hit by a bus tomorrow, but I'm loving where I'm at currently and doing everything I'm preparing for. And my guess is in 5 years from right now, that's when things will based off of if it happens sooner, great. By all means, mark your calendars. In September 29th of 2029, we will be preparing for 2030. We're going to be throwing up that big old 5-0. Mr. Sunderman here will be 50, but he's going to be partying like he's 20 because of we're going to have comedians at this event. We're going to have live shows, live entertainment, like, some good bands, and maybe a couple, get Prof, see if Prof will come and perform. That'd be dope. Cal Scooby. Yeah. I have to adopt these things. I have to lead by example. And what do you need to do? What's the third topic? What are we going to talk about for the last 5 minutes? Commitment. You got to commit. If you got commitment issues, and here's the rub. The only person you're committing to, who do you think that is? Take a wild guess. Who has to commit to all this adoption stuff to get others to adopt? Who has to truly commit to their own adoption and to vigorously get set in their ways and be very crystal clear about what it is they're doing? Chosen, yes, oh yes, he is. Boom, boom. I know if I can do it. It took me about 8 months after committing to the changes in my habits of eating and food for me to order my one wheel. It's taken me 5 years to get to a point where I am helping a leadership team throw an event and being able to use Rigid 6. I'm using all 3 companies in one venture for what was this 2024 Midwest Con. Rigid 6 capturing some things and showing its capabilities and potential, which, as my son says, the chef's kiss. So beautiful. Ikora showing how it's not something that anybody will probably come up to you and say for sure, but seeing Rob taking some of my terminology and use that with his team and hearing the team using the terminology. That's like Quora at work there. And as I was doing the booth, there's a few people on the camera that I could see, oh, wow, this person and I should work together. I need to reach out to those people. Absolutely. And would I charge them anything for helping them? I am currently in a season of development, and you have to be real with your capabilities. And would I go around saying, I would like to charge you for doing a few coaching sessions with you and help you come over some of your fears of speaking, or to help you improve now that you're past the fear of speaking, help you improve with your speaking. I want to perform for people and I want to empower people. There's so many things I want to do. And I am starting to, by my commitments, I'm starting to reap some of those benefits now. Give it time if you're just now starting out, because here's the thing. Get excited, because it's like learning a musical instrument or something. Just because you learn that instrument and you get good at that instrument doesn't mean there's not other instruments to play. Like, music is really what you're getting into. And what we're talking about here is just like music, working and being productive as a team. These are things that drive us as humans. I'm super excited about where the creative tech is going and helping individuals. I strongly recommend that you join the tribe. It's a Facebook group right now. Are we doing any activity in there right now? No. But the Facebook group, the Creative Tech, is purely there to have a centralized place for everybody to meet up and be able to see a list of our current tribe members. Could do that on our own website, which we'll have that eventually. But by adopting my framework and committing to it, the 3 steps: join the group. Second step is to fill out the alignment form, align.creativetech.ai. It's all the descriptor if you want the links. By filling out the alignment form, that allows us to update your profile in our database. And when we have you do step 3, which is go to sessions.creativetech.ai, you're going to be presented with a bookings page to book a 1 hour or 15-minute session with me. And either of these are free. So if you do want more than 15 minutes, please don't choose the 15-minute. And if I have a hard stop, I'll let you know. But a lot of times I find myself getting an hour session going. Sometimes if they're going good, they could end up going longer than anticipated. But the idea here for the form and the session is for you to truly understand what we're trying to do here, so that way have some patience. The form's a little bit long. It can be long if you fill it out thoroughly. And please provide feedback. Let me know how you're seeing this vision of, I'm trying to explain the vision the best I can. How do you perceive this, or what can I be doing differently or better? Or when you were watching an episode or whatever, like, speak your mind. All feedback and criticism is welcome here. And if you do get to the point where you're scheduling a session with myself, and hopefully we get more creative techs in here that will align and we can adopt a common language and whatnot. That way we can bring in new people. That way when you're scheduling a session, if I get overwhelmed, there will be other creative techs that are just as awesome, if not more. Obviously there's going to be a lot way more cooler than I am. So yeah, please join the tribe, get aligned, schedule your free session. Everything we're doing right now is free. not everything. If you have a tech stack that needs managed, well, that's Icora. But for the creative tech, there you go. Everything right now, all the sessions are completely on me. The bookings page will show you what availability there is, and there's quite a bit of availability. Not every day, definitely not my Fridays. If you want a session with me on a Friday and you're here in the local area, shoot me an email. We'll connect and we'll bring you down to the studio, have you sit down in a conference room, and we'll discuss what it is you're wanting to do. All right, everybody. I was a day late, but I still committed to it and I got it done. I can say I've gotten 28 episodes. No idea what next week's going to be about. And I need to come up with some kind of way, like this adoption is one of the terms in our lexicon now. I mean, everybody knows what adoption means, right? But how do we articulate it, and what does it mean to the creative tech and to Icora and the master tech plan? That, yeah, so much going on. All right. I think that should sum it up. I think we had a good session. I'm going to go enjoy some football, some chili, some time with the kiddos. Y'all, keep it heavy, keep it real. Peace.